they're here. So my wife's out of town and the kids are sleeping. So rather than be in the shop with all of our tools and stuff, we're in my garage. But I was really excited to do this, and I have an alignment scheduled tomorrow. Yeah, I'm the person that I hate, the person that schedules an automotive appointment the day after I get parts in. So we're gonna be installing these Silver's Neo Max coilovers. We got these through Import Image Racing. Thank you to Dane there, always holding it down. So yeah, excited to install these. I put the wheels on today. These are wheels that I had from my old STI. As you can see, this disgusting gap is just hideous. So we're gonna get rid of that tonight, and then tomorrow get aligned. And then we also got the OEM black STI front lip. So we're gonna put that on tomorrow. Gonna completely change the look of the car. So let's open this box, see what's in there, and put on the car. We wanna take a quick second to remind you guys, the next 2 weeks, if you spend $300 or more, you get it. Let's took my head off. A sweet t-shirt. So just leave your size in the comments. We'll send you a cool one. Also, next month we will be having another promo, so keep an eye out for that. But once again, 2 weeks left, free t-shirt. Let's go. So as you can see, the new chassis code is VB. So the 2015 and up was VA. This is VB, the 22 and up currently. So let's go ahead and open these. I haven't had Silvers before. I have heard pretty good things. I'm typically a Fortune Auto man myself. Probably had 5 sets of those on various cars. I really like those coilovers. I have had other brands like BC. Let's go ahead and see what's in here. Ooh. So this is something that you typically don't see with coilovers. You usually see this like on bag setups that have a lot of height variation. So these looks like some very long and adjustable end links. So let's see what we got here. Thank you for purchasing. You're welcome. Front suspension, rear suspension, spanner wrench. Doesn't say anything about the end links, which I believe those are end links. I could be wrong. All right, so it came with 2 spanner wrenches, standard procedure. And then we also have 2 different Allen keys. I'm assuming one is for the front camber adjustment on the top hat. And I'm assuming the other is for the spring rate or spring preload adjustment. So let's take a peek here. This one's closer to me. So this is a front one. And it does appear that the spring preload is not locked in yet, because you can see the locking collar is just kind of spinning. Boop, 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 boop. So we will have to tighten that down. But besides that, it looks cool. Nice finish. They're silver. Who would have thought? Silver and black looks good. Some dampening adjustment there. Feels like a pretty good amount. I don't know the exact amount, but we'll figure that out pretty soon. Cool. So the first thing I'm gonna do with all these is go ahead and just tighten down the preload, which is this locking collar here. So it looks like the locking collar for the spring preload is right here. I'm not really sure. Usually it's 2 of these that you could put spanner wrenches on to kind of cinch down on one another. This just has these kind of holes there, so I'm guessing I can just put like a screwdriver in there to hold it tight while I snug this a little bit more. It is moving around. So yeah, it does seem to be snug down after I put a little bit of pressure with the spanner wrench. Obviously this bottom locking collar isn't snug down yet because we do have to set our ride height. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pop the factory suspension out and just kind of see how much of a height difference this is gonna be from that factory one. And we'll go ahead and play with the height adjustment a little bit, put it in and test fit it. Typically, we would have like a lift where we do all 4 corners, yada, yada. What I'm gonna do, and kind of what I've always done in the past, is just test fit one side at a time. That'll help us kind of dial in and see what adjustments we need to make to the other side. That way we're not doing all 4, figuring out that it's either too high or too low and then having to redo all 4. So we're gonna go ahead and do the passenger side first, see how it looks, dial in the driver's side, then install those next. So So we started by just slightly loosening the lug nuts on both the front and rear wheels. We also just broke loose the top bolts on the struts for the front and rear, just got them loose. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and jack the car up. We're gonna use front and back jack stands just for safety. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead, take the wheels off, swap the struts. We'll show you what that's all about. So we're gonna start on the front strut. So I'm gonna go ahead, loosen these up. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and remove the 2 knuckle bolts, as well as this new funky sway bar end link kind of thing. So I'll show you what's going on there. Hand tool garage. What do you want? Don't go under there, you're gonna get smushed. From here, we're gonna see a few different things on the actual strut, or the bottom knuckle brace here. So we have the brake line, so the ABS bracket here for the line. We have the bracket for the brake line. We have this new end link that goes straight from the sway bar directly to the strut, which is new for this year. And then just the 2 bolts on the knuckle, the top one being a camber bolt, and then the 3 bolts up top. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna mark on this camber bolt the top of it, just to make sure. Until we get an alignment, I'm just gonna throw it in the same specs as factory, just to make sure that we're not grinding the tires down by the time we get to the alignment. So I'm just gonna, on either side of the ABS line, you're just gonna kind of push in. The brake line screw here is gonna be a 12mm bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and take that off here. And then the end link bolt up here and the bottom are gonna be 17mm. So like I said, this kit did come with new adjustable front end links. So we're gonna go ahead and install these and replace the factory ones. All right, the last bolts are gonna be these 2 for the knuckle, and then we have the 3 at the top. So this top one, like I said, is an adjustable camber bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and do the nut side first. And it should be pretty friendly to us because it's a brand new car. No crusties. So we're gonna go ahead and just lift the knuckle up a little bit to alleviate some pressure, help us get the screws out. There we go. There she goes. So these are not labeled, sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, but you are going to want this bolt to be the front. The camber adjustment, you're gonna wanna have lateral, so this way. So that's why we're gonna have this one in the front. Put that in there. There we go, tight fit. We're just gonna snug these down for now. All right, so because there is quite a large height difference, I did need to use the jack to lift up the knuckle, and that's gonna allow me to reinsert the bolts here. So one thing I did notice for these is the camber bolt. One side of the knuckle, one side of the bottom mount for the knuckle is larger on one side than the other, and that's to allow the camber bolt to go in and then spin and adjust camber. Typically it's gonna be on the back side, the bolt's gonna face forward. For some reason it's on the front side, so this bolt has to go in backwards. I'm not sure why that is, but either way it should function just fine. But yeah, just something that I noticed. All right, so at this point I have the knuckle bolts and the top ones are hand tightened down. So we're gonna go ahead and snug those. Before I do all the rest of the bolts though, as well as the new end links, I am going to just sit the car. So I'm gonna put the wheel on loosely, just like 3 lug nuts, put it on the ground and just see where the height is and see if we want to adjust it at all. But before we do that, I am gonna put the rear strut in just so we can do both those at the same time, save a little bit of time that way. And yeah, let's move on to the back. Wow. We did have to take the 3 bolts out of the rear lower lateral link. So it was the knuckle bolt, the strut bolt, and the end link bolt. The 2 top bolts on the top perch came out, and then the strut came out. So at this point, the new one is going in. After that, we will tighten the bolts on the end link and the knuckle, and that should be it. We can go ahead and test fit the height and see where we end up. All right, you got the bolts? Yeah, I got it. So we got the car on the ground and just checked everything. The front, from the outer edge of the rim to the very edge of the fender is about 3 inches in the front and then 3 1/4 just under that in the rear. I do like a little bit of like a rear rake. I think it makes the car look more aggressive, so it's actually perfect for what I'm looking for. So we went ahead and tightened everything up front. Rear is all set. At this point, we are gonna go get an alignment tomorrow. So after that, I'll give you guys my impressions of installation, how the coils look, how they feel going in, and then we'll be able to do a little ride along. So until then, I'm gonna get some sleep and clean up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.